finally, after a couple of long, quiet weeks, we finally have some information about Switch 2. And this isn't coming straight from Nintendo, but from some patents that they filed and also some rumors online. We finally now have some more details about Switch 2 that could be true. So there's a lot to unpack here, including game voice chat coming to Switch 2, new Amiibo support, and maybe even a release date. So there's a lot to unpack here, but of course, like always, before we dive into all that goodness, we have 22 days left until the Nintendo Switch 2 Nintendo Direct, which means tomorrow officially we will be only 3 weeks away, which is so satisfying to hear. But that also means another question of the day. Today's question comes from Kofi, the chocolate Kirby fan, and states, if you were to give Kirby a new copy ability, what would it do? Something that I can't believe hasn't happened yet is Sports Kirby. Like, there's not a single type of Sport Kirby. I know technically we have Ball Kirby, but that doesn't really count, you know what I mean? I want to actually play as Kirby in some type of sport theme, whether it be baseball Kirby, football Kirby, basketball Kirby, whatever it is, I want to play as a Sports Kirby, or maybe he's just an athlete Kirby that's able to use different sports, like for instance, the different balls from the different sports, maybe throw a football or use a baseball bat, or maybe even kick a soccer ball. And his whole entire moveset could have different nods to different sports. So whether it's one individual sport or all the sports mixed together in the future, I hope that we get some type of Sports Kirby. Once again, if you guys want your Switch 2 hype comment featured in the next video, comment the word hype in all caps followed by your Switch 2 hype comment. Thank you so much guys, and on to the video. So apparently Amiibo are returning. This first batch of headlines comes from The Verge, and they state how NFC equipped Amiibo figures could be making a return, and states today it seems likely they will because filings at the Federal Communication Commission, or the FCC, reveals the console will support NFC. They even specify that the RFID feature will be located in the right Joy-Con just like it was in the original Switch. The Nintendo Switch 2 is apparently designed the BEE001, the company's radio equipment test filings reveal, where BEE is Nintendo's designator for the Switch 2 family of products, with 001 the main console, 014 the right Joy-Con, and 012 the left one. They also state that Nintendo's followed this pattern for decades. DMG was the original Game Boy, DOL was the GameCube, and RVL was the Wii, and HAC was the original Nintendo Switch. Just a few examples. So here's your chart as well that you can check for yourself. Yeah, it seems like the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to have Amiibo support. And personally, I don't know if I care or even want this feature. I think it's just the fact that I am just so tired of Amiibo. This comes back from the Wii U era, and I remember like late high school, early college, just collecting every single Amiibo. And now I am stuck with bins full of these plastic expensive Nintendo toys that I don't really have anything to do with. Like, what do I do with all these Amiibo now? I haven't collected every single one, but it's up there. It's a lot. And I just don't really have a use for them. There's a couple games on the Wii U and maybe a couple on the Switch that utilize this feature, but at the end of the day, now they're just toys in a bin, and I don't really want to have to go through and collect even more Amiibo if they plan on making more, whether it be for the next Smash Brothers, whether it be for a Mario Kart game. I just don't want to deal with Amiibo. I think it was like this cool little gimmick thing that just went away. It's a fad now. I don't know, that's just me. Let me know if you guys still love Amiibo and want even more, but moving on to the next bit of news. Apparently, you'll also be able to charge the Nintendo Switch 2 from either its bottom USB-C port or its new top USB-C port. The filings reveal. Nintendo's announcement tease confirmed the Switch would have an extra USB-C port up top, but I think this is the first real confirmation of charging from both. And this is something that we actually have seen with concepts and another patent that the Switch could be flipped upside down and the Joy-Con to be used still while the actual screen is upside down. And this is probably to, like I said, charge it from the bottom or charge it from the top. And that would be pretty cool. I don't know if it'll have any other features of flipping it upside down, but this just means that this is more likely than we thought prior. So yeah, you'll be able to charge the Switch up and down, and maybe that's all it's for, just, you know, comfort things, and you flip the console over to charge it the way you want. Who knows? But at the end of the day, it's an option. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but, you know, sure. If you want it that way, you can have it that way. And above is some information of the patent filing, but they also go on to say, if you are hoping for faster Wi-Fi in your Switch 2, that's pretty likely as well. The filings show it will support Wi-Fi 6 networks with up to 80 megahertz of bandwidth, up from Wi-Fi 5 on the original Switch. However, it doesn't seem to have Wi-Fi 7 or Wi-Fi 6E, and it's only crossed the FCC with test for 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz networks, not the faster, shorter range 6 GHz band. And they show a chart for evidence just in case, you were thinking this could be any other product and not the Switch 2. It shows with the dock and without the dock and with the Joy-Con and without the Joy-Con. But yeah, we're gonna have better Wi-Fi, which is like a duh, you know what I mean? I don't really have a big issue with Nintendo's Wi-Fi connection. I think for the most part it works well until you start playing with like 6 other people. Someone's gonna have bad Wi-Fi, which just affects everybody, which shouldn't be the case. But either way, yeah, we don't need anything super crazy for Switch right now. I mean, we don't really have that many Nintendo online games that, need perfect Wi-Fi outside of like what, Splatoon? And then maybe Mario Kart and Smash. That's really about it. So it's not a huge deal unless Nintendo has a lot more online multiplayer games coming, but still better Wi-Fi, you can't complain. And finally with this article, it states it's unclear from these tests whether the Nintendo Switch 2 has faster charging speed or more power when docked. The original Switch shipped with an unusual adapter that charged at up to 15V and 2.6A. FCC filings show the Switch 2 is still rated for a maximum of 15V, but also mention an AC adapter that goes up to 20V. Both of either of those could be USB-C PD, but we can't properly guess at charging speed in watts without knowing the amperage. So yeah, this is pretty much just stating like we don't know the charging power and what type of block it's going to come with. Of course, that's stuff Nintendo has to unveil for themselves, but it seems like it might be a little bit more power usage for this new Switch, which would just also makes sense depending on the new dock as well, but once again we just need Nintendo to talk about that. Now this next article comes from WCCF Tech, which might be giving us a hint at voice chat. Yeah, so it says a recent patent filed by Nintendo strongly suggests that voice chat will be integrated into the Nintendo Switch 2 operating system, addressing one of the original Switch's biggest oversights. The patent, which was published late last month by Nintendo in the United States, outlines a system for implementing proximity chat in games, suggesting not only OS voice chat integration for the Nintendo Switch 2, but also that first-party titles will likely support proximity chat, which could considerably improve multiplayer games like the next entry in the Mario Kart series or potentially new entry in the Splatoon series. Now, it's just funny reading this article, like we're getting hype about voice chat in the year of 2025 when you literally have voice chat and proximity chat with like every other console and most multiplayer games out there. It's just crazy that Nintendo's always so late to the game, but you know what? I'm not going to complain because it's exciting, especially for games like Splatoon where you really need to communicate to teammates. It is very important, especially if you're playing ranked and you don't want to have friends and go on a Discord and stuff. Like, this just makes a lot of sense. So I would love to have in-game chat, especially with things like Smash Brothers where you could just 1v1 somebody in like Elite Smash or something and just talk to them and kind of communicate with them. Of course, it would be monitored because this is a Nintendo console, and there's already games out there that monitor pretty well. Like, just take Call of Duty, for example. Call of Duty in the recent last 2 installments has a voice detection software and also a reporting system where if you report somebody, it will check your audio, and if you said something that was too inappropriate, it will actually ban you from chatting for a certain amount of days. So maybe Nintendo could actually pick up on something like this and do something like that, so that way it monitors, or you can actually, put in requests to ban people that say specific words or things that, are deemed inappropriate. So this could be handled right. And I just simply want a better game chat, you know what I mean? Like, even if we could just party up and talk to our friends, at the very least would be much appreciated, since you can do that on literally every console for the last decade. So please, Nintendo, let us just have voice chat and group chat. That would be awesome, just to party up and talk to people without having to go on Discord and stuff. And maybe that's exactly what that special C button is for on the bottom right Joy-Con. Maybe it's for chat, like we've all kind of predicted it would be, where we can actually start a party and just talk to friends and stuff. That would be much appreciated. So hopefully Nintendo doesn't let us down with the voice chat, because this sounds exciting. Lastly, there's some new rumors on release dates. None of this being concrete, of course, but apparently a Dutch toy store actually leaked the release date for the Nintendo Switch 2 being on June 30th. yeah, I don't buy this at all. I mean, this has happened multiple times with multiple different stores around the world, and I believe there was a specific store, Best Buy, GameStop, one of them that actually came out and said no retailer actually knows the release date, that they're just actually messing around and doing it for attention. But I will say the June timeframe sounds right. I would always say May or June sounds the best for the release of this console, being a month to 2 months after the Switch 2 Nintendo Direct at the beginning of April. So I am still floating around that area. I just believe they have no clue when this is coming. But a lot of people are also trying to put some pieces together and figure that they might have found another release date. Nintendo had one kind of major announcement for Mario Day, and it's this brand new Lego Mario Kart set, which is coming on May 15th. Now, what's so special about that date? Well, it sits perfectly in the middle of an empty gap. This is like a 2-week gap between the Nintendo Switch 2 play experiences around the world where you can go try it out if you were, able to get in. And apparently there's like a 2-week gap in between these play sessions. And that is perfectly where this actually falls in on May 15th, which does also end up being a Thursday. But no, I don't think this tells us really anything at all. It doesn't even really make sense when I think about it. Like, why would they reveal this brand new Lego set and release it on the exact same day of Switch 2? I feel like that's going to end up hurting the sales of the Lego set. Yes, it does matter when people are going out and buying a console that's probably $400 or more, when this Lego set itself is priced at $160. Yeah, it's going to be a big, messy deal if that's exactly what Nintendo decides to do. So, almost in my eyes, I feel like it kind of just says maybe not May. I know that sounds crazy. Like, are they really going to prioritize a Lego Mario? But, I mean, it's coming in May, so I feel like they're going to want to have a completely empty month for Switch 2 where there's nothing else to talk about, nothing to look forward to besides the Switch 2. So I'm still kind of shooting my shot for June. It just sounds more and more likely. But yeah, that's all the new information on Switch 2 for today. Finally something, because it's been a quiet couple of weeks, but thankfully we don't have that much long to wait. Only 22 days left until we get our eyes on this amazing Nintendo Switch 2 Nintendo Direct. But let me know in the comments down below what you think about these new filings and also these rumors of release dates. Thank you so much for tuning in. Leave a like and subscribe before you head out. And like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.